Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Peggy.
You are watching the Junction Fiber Mill
Millcast.
Gosh, I was going to say knit along because that's on my brain.
Yeah, no, it's Millcast. And I just said we were checking to make sure we were framed like we're in our new setting and all, and new chairs. I got to get a pillow. Just saying. How you doing?
I'm doing well. There's yet another Monday winter storm coming through.
Yeah.
So the daycare, like, it's so far so good. It's just sort of been rainy, but it's going to come down apparently.
Well, and it was coming down last night. I think I told you. Well, I told you earlier this morning.
Yeah.
At about 9 o'clock last night, we noticed there's a leaking in the windowsill, and so Todd and I are out there at 9 o'clock, howling wind, pouring rain, trying to put some kind of protection over the window. We were taking a door from the basement and putting a tarp over it, and then trying to lean it up to the window, but it wasn't quite high enough. So we went and got another. Yeah, it was ridiculous. And now, of course, is it the sill that's leaking? Is it leaking, the roof leaking? And it's not always easy to get folks over to find out what's wrong, let alone repaired.
Yep.
But anyway, that's aside.
Sorry.
That's all right. No, because I had a great weekend. I think I might have mentioned in the last Millcast, all my brothers and sisters, I have five siblings, or six of us, all but one were able to join for the weekend. And we just had, came over Saturday and stayed through Sunday, most of Sunday.
Fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
We're all getting old, but none of the kids, just us and their partners and spouses, and we just had a great time.
That's
really
great.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, we got our Christmas tree on Saturday morning. We went into a tree farm in Lyme, New Hampshire, and cut it ourselves. Actually, I cut the tree down, which I was very proud of myself.
Excellent. Yep. I assume they give you the saws.
Oh yeah, they're just the little, the little saws, and it wasn't like it was hard. It's a pretty small tree for our small house.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, it was, and it smelled great. We put it in the car on the way home.
You can't get any fresher.
No, and so it looks great, and Maeve totally was on the team for decorating the tree, which was so cute. That's
great.
She noticed what we were doing and was helping to put ornaments up, and of course she takes all the ones she can reach down to play with them.
That's all right.
Yeah. So it's really nice to get in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to get in the Christmas spirit.
Oh yeah.
Mailing some packages, doing a little shopping. Yeah.
Yeah. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, and we're having our holiday staff party at my house on Thursday, which will be a lot of fun. I haven't done that before. So it's all good. Yeah, getting in the spirit. Big day today for the mill, though, right?
Our knit along is officially wrapped up for the Read This hat. Yeah. And you have yours. I did not bring mine.
I have mine. I used the pink.
Red Hots?
No. The pink balloon that you gave me.
Oh, yeah.
Did not know it had a pinhole in it.
It did.
It did.
Well, I did that on purpose. I just wanted to mess with you.
So it gave it its shape. No. I think I'm all right. Yeah, so there's my knit-along hat.
It looks great.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Awesome.
I'm happy.
Well, I'm loving to see all these submissions.
Really fun.
Yeah. And if you didn't tell us what you wrote on it and you just sent a photo, please send us an email saying
because someone can't see.
Yeah, the whole way around. But it is I dreamt up this crazy idea for this hat with customizable text, and I was just worried about the technicalities of instructing people about how to do this, but people totally got it.
Absolutely.
And had a blast with it.
I think you need to do more dreaming.
Yeah, no, I apparently just got to dream up some knitting patterns.
There you go. Yeah, just boom, why not? Yeah,
totally.
It was a lot of fun.
It was so much fun. So thank you for participating. And the winner, if it's you will be contacted by us over email this week or Instagram, email, because we went through Google this time, Google Forms. And you will win a surprise bag full of yarn.
Chock-a-block full of Junction Fiber Mill yarn.
So thank you so much for participating, everyone.
Yeah,
and some people I heard are onto their 5th hats. So
it was such a quick knit.
Yeah, that's great.
It's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And I love to see, the other thing I loved seeing of folks is the pom-poms. I should have included, you can do an optional pom-pom. I've never done a pom-pom, but it's a perfect hat for a pom-pom.
It is a perfect hat for a pom-pom.
So,
you're right.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We had a blast, and we're going to take a short break on knit-alongs just to get through the holidays and stuff, but stay tuned for more. Yeah,
an exciting one. Hey, speaking of exciting, it just keeps rolling. We got into the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival, which is so exciting. It's the first weekend in May, and it's a little nostalgic for me because before we moved to Vermont, Todd and I were in Chicago, had decided we were going to start a sheep farm, and someone had said, every breed is represented at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. So Todd and I flew from Chicago. This would be in 2012, and indeed got to see all these different breeds. But the festival was so cool. It's the first time I'd ever heard of this whole sheep to shawl, and watched them, taking raw wool and spin it and turn it into a shawl, and all the barn after barn. It was just fabulous. So I'm very thrilled that the mill. If you had told me back in 2012
that you'd be vending,
that I'd be doing a fiber, a wool mill, and then vending at that same festival, nah. So
a
anyway,
lot could happen in 11 years.
Yeah,
so,
it's very exciting. So if you're at all in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, mark your calendars first week in May. I'd love to see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might come down, even though you'll
I'll have a 2-month-old, but we'll see. I would love to come because it's sort of one of those ones you hear about. It's a big festival, and it would be nice to get out of our little zone.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got a phone call coming in. Let's go maybe mute that and we'll cut.
All right.
Sorry about that,
Sorry
folks.
about that. That was actually, that was my husband calling. I think about the leaky window, and I just put him on mute, and I'll call him right back. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Marilyn, be there if you can.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
So in the mill, we've of course had a lot going on. I can't believe, I don't even know, Friday came last week and I was like, what did we do this whole week? Because our spinner's been here a week and I cannot believe how fast the time has flown.
Right.
So we have managed to get it making yarn, which is really exciting. It's definitely got a learning curve to it, which we expected.
Yep.
So we, there's a lot going on at the mill right now. We haven't had, to be honest, a dedicated chance to sit down with it for
we've got
a whole
little
day.
pockets of time and try it. I have to say also, when you're working on it and it's a little stressful because you're trying to solve things, I don't think I could do that for a whole day. So we've been doing an hour or so here or there and saying, okay, we made progress, but we'll have to solve that at the next session.
What you're seeing now is it running, and it's making a single ply of yarn using our Falkland, what we use to do our making tracks. And it's totally spinning yarn, and it was pretty easy to figure out how to get it to make the weight of yarn we wanted. So we're feeling really optimistic about that, because with our current spinner, that's definitely where a lot of the training has to go in for our staff, is just really honing in on how do you make the yarn that you intend to set out making, and how do you make it uniform. Right.
There's a lot more variables to deal with on our older spinner, whereas this new one, everything's sort of tied together.
There's computers involved. It's very high tech. So
but we should also say it's also strictly in meters, which is a little daunting because our others is in yards and
our other
pounds.
It's just in RPMs, and we translate it.
I'm so
shoot,
sorry.
We're getting another one.
Trying.
Peg's gonna put it on mute. She promises.
Yes.
We're back again.
Sorry about that.
It's one of those mornings apparently.
Yeah, a little bit it is. Yeah. So spinner is we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. So we have yet to produce a yarn that is hitting our shelves on the spinner, but very soon.
Soon. We've got a couple of it's just funny. You get used to loading it one way with the old spinner, and you think, oh well, it'll be kind of the same for the new one. And you and I were like, nope. Watching the video, nope. But we'll get it.
Yeah. Totally. And then the other is that we actually a few months ago acquired this new to us skein winder, which our old skein winder that we purchased from Hampton Fiber Mill along with the rest of our equipment had 5 spindle holders for it, so we could do 5 skeins at a time. And the new one, sort of thinking ahead to what this new spinner is going to do to our production, we knew we would need a few more spindles availability than 5.
And there's one that came available. Yeah. And even though our new spinner wasn't here, we're like, we should grab this.
Right. So we got it from Michigan.
Right. Stonehenge Fiber, which is no longer making mill equipment, but they had.
This is one of their.
This is one of their Stonehenge skein winder, and once again trying to figure out how to get it. A freight company to pick it up and bring it, but we figured that out, and it's been here for a while, but now it's in action.
Right, so when the riggers came, we had them swap it out with our old skein winder.
Right.
And there was just one piece of it, we had been using it for a couple of weeks. We had something happen with our skein winder a few weeks ago, so it was great to have a backup piece of machinery. Yeah. So that forced us to figure it out, and it's actually a little simpler than our old one. But it didn't come with these fabulous little metal clips that our old one has, where you clip the tails of the yarn
you
to
tuck it right in
you
and
press on, and then and then you're off to the races. This one just had like just a wooden bar
that you'd have to stop and tie it. Yeah.
So we found a system of tying, but I think it took at least 2 or 3 times as long to get it going.
Yeah.
So we approached our dear friend John McHugh.
Once again, steps in.
He made us our hanker. He's problem solved for us how to mount our static bars on our pieces of equipment. He's just like an engineer-minded guy.
Yeah.
Who is like very helpful to our mill. So,
and the nicest person.
So nice. So we had John come by, take some measurements of these little clips, because we scoured the webs, the interwebs.
And he said they called something spring tabs?
Yeah, he sort of likened them to what you use to like pin a piece of like X-ray film up to the thing, and that was
it's
like
a tab that has a little torque in it, so it'll hold.
It's like a spring clip or something like that, flat spring clip. But we could not find these on the internet. No. It's really hard to search for little parts like this.
And John has all the tools and has this workshop, and he was like, "Oh, and I've got that spring metal, no problem." And he made them.
And they look so pro.
They are very pro.
They are just like shiny, beautiful little things. So he made us a dozen of them. And then yesterday I stopped by with my little family, and Cody took some measurements, took the wing off that we needed it mounted on. Yeah. Used a drill press to get the holes placed and put those in. Perfect. And it looks great. So we had to do some last minute remounting of what goes where on it, because the yarn actually feeds in from the front of the machine, not the back of the machine on this one. But anyways, I think it's going to work great.
It's good to go, and thank Cody.
Thank Cody, thank John, thank you to our guys that help us out here.
It's always an extended team that keeps this mill afloat.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Maeve was probably flipping all sorts of switches and buttons, so I was like, okay, hopefully everything turns on fine this morning.
It'll be good. It'll be good. But that's great to have that now in action.
Yeah.
And we got to have it in action because we only have so many bobbins, and you got to empty the bobbins to put the bobbins back to work. So.
Right, exactly. So that's 2 sort of equipment updates, and then we've been making a lot of beautiful yarn.
Yeah, we have a new one that I am so excited about.
Me too.
This is a gorgeous gray. There's a farm in Norwich, Vermont called Hogwash Farms. Leslie O'Hara owns it. And we every year get all of her fleece, and the Jacobs are those little guys with horns, and they're black and white.
They're polka dotted sheep.
Yeah, kind of polka dotted sheep, and we blend it.
They have multiple horns, sometimes like 4.
Yeah, some are crazy and they have 4, but they're not terribly big. But in any case, we get all of hers, and Jacob, like a lot of breeds, it can really have the range. Some of her fleece are very soft. Some of them are they're solid,
well, she
but
breeds
not.
them primarily for meat.
Yeah, she's definitely doing them for meat. And the fabulous Gwen Hinman does the shearing, so you know the fiber's been removed really carefully. But I said to you when we were going to do this, I said, you know what, Amanda, I'd like to play around and put some soft fiber blended in with this. And we happen to have what's called a bump, a thing of wool. It's Rambouillet, and Rambouillet, I'm going to tell you about it in a moment, but I sourced it from a ranch and they call them ranches when you head out west. And
apparently
and they're not 200.
And it's a ranch.
Right? Yeah, it's not 200. It's like 4,000 sheep. And a woman named Lonnie Estel has a ranch, and it's Bear Ranch, the Bear Ranch in Surprise Valley. So it's part of it is in Northern California and Northwest Nevada.
So it's so big it spans multiple states.
Right, okay. And they do they're incredibly conscientious about how they take care of the land, the ranchers who work with the sheep, and of course the sheep themselves. But the Rambouillet is very similar to merino. I'm going to have some fun here. This is the Bible book for fleece. Okay, you want to know anything about a particular breed, this is the book you get. Deb Robinson is the author, happened to be a Carleton College grad. So I'm just going to read you real quick. In 1786, when the Spanish began allowing merinos to be exported, Louis IX, soon to be beheaded husband of Marie Antoinette, imported 359 of the Spanish sheep to his estate in Rambouillet in northern France. And the rest is history. What it's known for, so it's very merino-like. So what it's known for is super soft to the touch with a nice crimp. And we just put in about 20% into this, and I think it's totally transformed this fiber.
So that makes it, rather than Farm Fresh, which is our line that's like 100% super duper local, this is Farm Fresh Luxe, which is super duper local with a little bit of
luxe
added in.
luxury.
So that's that Rambouillet, but again, it's 100% raised in the U.S., most of it from just our neighbor Leslie's Hogwash Farm, and it is this gorgeous medium gray that would make the beautiful, like, neutral for a sweater, I think.
Yeah, also making tracks, some of the making tracks really will pop with this.
Yeah.
But it just feels like $1,000,000, and it's very
so
fun.
soft.
I don't know why I get such a kick out of saying, well, what happens if you add a little this, a little that? We have a custom processing job that's about to come up. She's adding silk to hers. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of fun.
So this is brand new on our site.
Yeah.
It's Farm Fresh Luxe, Jacob and Rambouillet, and I think it'll be great to see how it knits up too.
Yeah, and another gray.
Another Farm Fresh Luxe.
This is another Farm Fresh Luxe. It's back. Look at this yummy light gray.
So this is a blend of the Montadale Cheviot that we get from Settlement Farm that forms the basis for what we've got for solids right now, blended with just a hint, like 4% of the black Spanish merino wool, which again, everyone knows merino's got that really, really soft, really fine, but we primarily add it for the color, because it just tones it gray, just a smidge.
It just makes it this bright light gray, which is almost impossible to get if you just wanted to go with the right from an animal. You're not going to find a sheep that's this color.
And then we added just a touch of a border luster blend this time around, which adds just a little bit extra luster to it. Yeah. And frankly, just let us make a little bit more, because we can't keep this stuff on our shelves. So we've got a bunch of really super duper Vermont local white wool blended with, that's 96% of it, and then just a little bit of black merino. It's
sweet.
Back in stock. Farm Fresh Luxe.
I got to put these next to each other so you can really see. Look at that.
They would knit really nicely together. Yeah, those are great. Fun.
Okay.
So speaking of knitting, what are we knitting? I have two things to show.
Go for it.
Okay. The first one, I'm just going to show my Penguino update.
Excellent.
It's coming along.
Look at that.
It now definitely
looks like a garment. You are going to have so much fun weaving in all those ends.
So much fun. So
that is
I really
so cute.
Loved, again, it was really funky the way they close up the armholes. This is a Stephen West thing. So it's you're just sort of knitting back and forth this little strip. And then you're in the round again, and then you're doing an I-cord bind off, because why the heck not? And then now what I'm doing is I'm adding length to it, just sort of going back and forth in garter stitch to add this sort of border.
That is so cute.
I don't know, throw in a few more colors, and then there'll be there's like a collar, and then I think there's an I-cord around the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
So I've got a bit left to go, but it's been really fun.
Now that I'm seeing it, because I got to be honest, when you first pulled it out, I was like...
it was just this part.
Yeah, I was kind of like going, oh, what is she doing? But when you said there's also an adult version, that actually would be pretty fun.
It's really cool. I looked at the hashtag the other day just to see, like, what are other people doing on Instagram, and there's a lot of, like people who've made multiple of these for their different age kids, and they all are wearing them. It just looks like such a rag pile in the best way. You know what I mean? It's just like bright, colorful kids with these, and people are adding like little loops for buttons at this part, so I might follow suit and do that. But they're so cute, so I'm really excited.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and then the other is I finally got around, because Maeve took an epic nap, to like doing surgery on this sweater and getting started.
Oh my gosh!
With my embroidery.
Wow.
So the surgery was I needed to shorten the sleeves, and because I'd done Italian bind off, I had to go snip. I'll show a picture, and I just hate doing that. So I snipped the ends, and then like found the yarn.
Oh my god.
And then unraveled them a few inches and redid the cuffs.
Wow.
So I did that yesterday. It should fit her better. And then I made the chart. So I counted out like how many stitches vertically and horizontally I had. And then I based this off of a pattern from this designer Deegan called Flower Power. But I sort of adapted it for a kid size.
Okay.
And I made myself a little chart, and I've been following it using the what do they call it? Duplicate knitting technique.
Right. So you're basically
using a tapestry needle.
It with a tapestry needle, the stitch, the shape of the stitch below.
And I'm just kind of like freestyling it. Like I try to figure out a logical way to get from shape to shape, but the inside does not look too crazy. Unlike stranded,
No.
You know, you've just, and I've got
Yeah.
ends to weave in because you can only put so much on the needle at a time, but I'm curious
Wow.
how it's going to block because obviously it's double thick here. So it's a little bit like
Yeah.
goofy and, you know, gauge is kind of hard to maintain, but I think it'll look great. I'm
That's
really
adorable.
pleased with it.
That's wow.
She'll still fit in it for a while, so I've got to finish it up, but yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right, mine.
Oh, I have one more thing to update on.
But wait, there's more. Yeah.
It's not knitting, but I wanted to update on this Waldorf doll that I'm
Oh,
making
yeah,
for
yeah,
Maeve.
yeah.
So I got the head in good shape. I did the, like, you know, I tied it with the really tight thread, and then I put the little thing over it for the body fabric, and I sewed it all up, and that was fun to do. And someone posted a comment about millet attracting rodents. So I did some digging because there's companies selling these dolls all over. And I looked up and there's nothing about Waldorf dolls and rats and whatever. But everyone, so the comment we got was they're concerned that she'll be traumatized, that mice and rodents will come because of the millet, which is a very fair concern.
Yeah,
We have the same thing. So the Waldorf dolls say, like, oh, the lavender oil is going to make it so nice and calming to your child. Well, you know what I Googled? Lavender oil, rats. They hate it. So that is why they're putting lavender oil in their millet, is actually to deter rodents.
Very interesting.
And so I have the lavender oil. I'm still going to use the millet. We will.
Good.
I don't think we have any rodents in our house, but fair point. I will keep an eye out, and it'll smell like lavender.
I find it fascinating that you have a house in Vermont and can say with such confidence you don't have rodents. And by the way, rodents sound ghastly. Mice.
Yeah.
A little mouse. We definitely, when the
I've
weather
never
turns,
seen a sign of them in our house.
Incredible.
Not a single drop of poo. In our garage, yes.
we get them in the basement, and then that's when I get out the snappers. And
Our house is built like it is so sealed in. That's the problem, is like we have too much moisture all the time because it is just
it's so
sealed.
solidly,
Yeah, so the only way they get in is through the front door.
well,
but
good for you, but you got the millet solved. Okay.
the millet is solved.
So I have not blocked this. I'm not even sure it needs
Oh my
blocking.
god,
but
it looks amazing.
So this is the hat that I started at, so I have the inside there, and I'm gonna, so here's,
Wow, it looks so warm too.
it is, it's a very warm hat. And it has a really interesting bind off I described last time. You're just knitting the tube straight up, and then you do a 3 needle bind off 1, 2, and 3 times.
Yep.
And then it gives you this pleated effect on the outside.
I love the look of it too.
Isn't that fun? And I'm really glad I didn't do the picot. I like the straight edge on it. The only thing I want to do differently, because I'm going to knit it again in muted colors. I want to show how it can really look quite different. I'm going to do it on a needle size up rather than...
What's this one?
This is on size 6 and 108 stitches. I'm going to do the same thing, 108 stitches, on a size 7.
Okay.
I just want to see, because it's a little snug.
It looks dense. I mean, it is.
Well, yeah,
it looks warm enough for Vermont, that's for sure.
Well, and I think you want it relatively tight to get the colors to pop.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it again in a muted colorway.
I love
And then
this.
I'll write this up. And it's a very warm hat. And somebody made a comment that they thought it would be great for their husband. It is, Todd, I've knit this several times for Todd. Again, it's been years. But when he saw me starting to knit, he goes, I've always loved that pattern.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
Yeah,
okay.
we gotta put it out there.
Yeah, I got to do it one more time.
Great.
In a different
so look
colorway.
out for that, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my mohair vest is on the back burner while I nail this down.
Yep.
Yeah. So there you have it.
Well, Cody has been, I should have brought it in if I was going to talk about it, but there's this mitten book from a Mainer that's like the foxes and geese book.
Yeah.
So I borrowed that from our little library to take it home because he heard about it somewhere on the internet, actually, all on his own.
Wow.
And he was like, do you think I could do this? I was like, no, Cody, those are a little hard because they're like double, they're double knitting and like thrums and it's mittens, whatever. It's kind of intense. So I told him that would probably be something I could make him because he really wants those.
So you want the thrums?
He either wants the thrums or he wants they've got some great patterns in there for mittens that are like stranded colorwork. So then you get that double effect. You get the double yarn, and that's what's so warm. But what I loved about it, reading the intro, and I'll bring it in and read from it directly at some point. But the woman is like, it doesn't make any sense that people overseas are making our winter wear because they don't know about how cold of a winter it is here and blah, blah, blah. And acrylic is bad and wool is great and all this.
Yeah.
And so this hat reminds me of that a little because you've got all, it's really nice and thick. It is real wool. It's going to keep you warm when
well,
wet.
and you've got even more. So not only is it stranded, I did the lining.
Yeah,
to just give even extra wool, because where I'm up on a bit of a hill that's very cleared, when the wind blows, it blows.
Yeah. So I love these techniques for winter. I also love the felting techniques where you knit big and you shrink it down.
Yep.
And so it's
been there,
just,
done that. Love it.
Wool is so great for that.
Wool is the best, as we've been saying.
There's mittens in my future.
Yeah.
But in the mill's future, we are expanding. As you all know, we've got this spinner that's going to put a lot more work on our plate, really. A lot more yarn to spin. So on that end, we are hiring.
Yes, we are. We have a full-time position here in White River Junction. If you have any interest whatsoever, please go to our website. That's the door opening. Hi, Liz. Go to our website, junctionfibermill.com/jobs, and you'll see the full description of the position if you're at all interested. Kind of got to be in the area.
Yep, and it starts relatively soon, so don't sleep on this. We're already conducting phone interviews this week, and we will continue to do that into the coming weeks.
Exactly.
Sorry, we've got people coming in.
Yeah, the day is getting started.
Yes. And then just one last note. We've got our holiday open house this Friday. Again, in White River Junction. And we discovered we have a couple of extra holiday boxes sitting around.
Just not sitting around carefully oh my gosh.
Like, oh my goodness. So if you, we are going to do a giveaway at the open house for one of these holiday boxes. So if you come, you'll be able to enter for a chance to win.
Yeah, and we'll do the drawing right there. Yeah, so come on by and get a chance at winning. Do we want to reveal what's in it or not?
I can show it, Let's see if I can open this up gracefully. Actually, you know what? It's probably all packed away nicely.
Okay.
It's yarn, it's lotion,
it's yarn, and then
coffee.
some of our favorite folks around the Upper Valley. We have taken little samples, and it's very, very neat.
Yes, but we better sign off so we can get back to work here.
So please come by the open house, chance to win the mill box, and in the
that's
meantime,
Friday, 3 to 5 at the mill.
Right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.